Good morning and welcome to Wednesday's Early Morning Intuitive Guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom for your day. And I want to apologize to those of you yesterday who were looking for me here and I mistakenly videoed. Good morning, Abigail. Glad you're here. I mistakenly videoed on my personal page and then had to bump it over to this page, etc. So if some of you missed me yesterday, that's where I was. So yeah, too much technology, just too much technology. So kind of humorous. Anywho, good morning, Nancy. Welcome. Glad you're here. Good morning. Good morning. And we'll give it a minute for everybody to roll in. There's Joniel. Yes, yay. I was extra cautious today to make sure I was on the correct page. And speaking of the correct page, today's card, we haven't had this deck in a while. Today's card is so on the correct page with regard to all of what we've been talking about. And I kind of like to think about the spirit, capital S, sitting there going, okay, they need this message again. They need this message again. They need this message again. Again, again, again. Oh, look, someone's starting to get it. So we have one of those messages that dovetails beautifully with the messages that have preceded it. And I think maybe it's also a call to, how do we do this a little more deeply? How do we take another step? It was interesting. I was reading Bringers of the Dawn, and part of the chapter I was reading was talking about what can you do to elevate yourself into realms beyond 3D. And I kind of smiled when the main tools they were suggesting were breath work and spinning, actually spinning around like a little kid. You know how we used to spin around and then giggle and fall down because we were dizzy, laughing crazily. Yes. Good morning, Mel. Welcome, welcome. Spinning. What were the other ones? Oh, beam of light, making pillar of light, bringing the light energy down. Good morning, Barb. Welcome. So it's all things we already have done, and hopefully we do on a more regular basis as we're consciously setting our intention to up-level our vibration, right? So I'm just getting a little nudge, those little niggling things that say, tell them this, tell them this, tell them this. So it feels, again, like I need to repeat one of Kayleen Welsh's pieces of wisdom, because I think it fits in with how we want to approach what we're going to talk about today, how we want to approach our lives moving forward. She said, I choose to be led by love energy rather than pushed by fear energy. I choose to be led by love energy rather than pushed by fear energy. And I think that's a beautiful philosophy always, but especially now. Especially now when fear is rampant and seems to be consuming people, and more people playing not to lose rather than playing to win. No, this is opportunity. All of what's going on is opportunity. There's opportunities in every difficulty. There's opportunities in every difficulty. Yes, there are the pessimists who see the difficulties in every opportunity, and we've all had our foray into that particular field. Not fun being there. I'd much rather be the optimist who sees opportunity in every difficulty. Good morning, Angie. Yes, so Kayleen Welsh, I choose to be led by love energy rather than pushed by fear energy. So today's card deck is Denise Lynn, Native Spirit. She is of Cherokee descent. And these cards are so pretty. I love the images on the card. Our card for today is Spirit of Air. So on that note, let's do a little breathing. Start in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let your shoulders drop. I can feel it in my left shoulder blade. I've been holding on too tight. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And just keep it going. One of the things that they talk about in the Barbara Marciniak book is with the spinning, start slowly. If you can only do 3 rotations and then you're like, whoa, do 3 rotations. Do 3 rotations consistently, a couple times a day. Then bump it up to 4. Then bump it up to 5. The rule of thumb that is in the book is 33 rotations 3 times a day. And that is to help you elevate. And in doing those rotations, the theory is you're also getting your chakras spinning more merrily. I like thinking about them spinning merrily. I think that's a cool way to go about it. So the breath, we need to be utilizing our breath much more. We don't take in a whole lot of life. Good morning, Gwen. We don't take in a whole lot of life when we breathe. How many people are like, fill them up. See how much you can take in and how much you can push out. Because the more you can exhale, that sets you up for a deeper inhale coming next. So just practice. While I'm reading the Spirit of Air card to you, just practice the breath. Spirit of Air, card meaning. And watch the smile come to my face because we've heard this all before. Clarity and expansive perception of life is emerging. You're being advised to see life from a higher perspective. Interestingly, was speaking to a couple of friends yesterday, and they follow a particular psychic. I sometimes tune in to his stuff, sometimes not, but he was saying there's going to be some very clear openings up of information coming, some of which may be a little bit 7 counts in, 11 out. Fabulous. Yeah, some people like the box breathing. 4 in, hold for 4, 4 out, hold for 4. Whatever works for you. I like in through the nose, out through the mouth. But train up whatever method you want to use, because it can be helpful to have a couple of different ways you go about it. Also, I think doing literal breath work, and you can Google breath work and things will pop up that you can do online. Insight Timer has a lot of very strong drum beat music that works fabulous for breath work. If you have about 15 minutes, a great one on Insight Timer is, let me think of the name of it, Energy Body DNA. Energy Body DNA. That is a wonderful little short one. How long do people sometimes do breath work? I've been in classes where we've done it up to an hour. So, and when you hear that, you're like, are you kidding? An hour of breathing a panting breath or you know, deep breath or whatever? Yes, an hour. And it flies. Because it distorts your time and things begin to move very rapidly. So, back to our card. Here's your visual. Keep breathing. Clear out mental clutter. Breathe. Surprise, surprise. All is well. Do not be concerned. The cobwebs are being cleared away. Communicate your truth. Take care of details. Pay attention and don't let things slip through the cracks. Take time to hear the truth of others. We had a meeting last night, a Zoom meeting. Some were present and some of us were on Zoom, and people were being very honest, and it was uncomfortable, and there were some great moments of silence as everybody was processing someone else's moment of truth. But when I got off the call, I felt like, okay, we accomplished something. We cut through the typical, usual crap, and we accomplish something. This is good. So, Spirit of Air. Spirit is whispering to you. Open your mind to see a situation in a new light. The Spirit is whispering to you part. So, if you've got a lot of noise in your life, how able are you going to be to hear Spirit whispering? That's where the silence comes in. Be still. Be still. We need to practice our be still. I remember a couple of years ago, when I made the suggestion that people leave their radio off in the car and just drive in silence. And one of my friends took that very much to heart and had the radio off for over a year. Yes, breathing helped with childbirth. Yes. Breathing helps birth anything, right? If breathing can serve us so well to go through labor and delivery, might we not consider that breathing could go really well to help us through other kinds of birthings? Birthing a new world order, birthing a new thought process, birthing creativity. Breath, breath, breath. Your native spirit wants you to know the Spirit of Air represents the mental aspect of your life. It's the part that it has the capacity to discern, analyze, organize, evaluate, and judge. Though seemingly subtle and unseen, air is composed of the most rarefied energy fields, and we're in constant communion with the vast universe through our breath. Hear that again. That's a very powerful sentence. We're in constant communion with the vast universe through our breath. The Spirit of Air carries the energy of change and transformation, inspiration, aspiration, mental clarity, freedom, perception, communion, and communication. The element of air also allows you to see situations from a higher perspective. This card can indicate that it's time to do some major clutter clearing and organizing. I think that's certainly true. The ongoing saga of letting go of stuff, because stuff can keep us stuck. We want to be light and free and nimble on our feet energetically. So setting the intention that we're going to let go of anything that doesn't serve us in that regard is a really powerful way to go. The journey. One of the most direct and powerful ways to receive messages from Spirit is through the air spirit. Do you think you could sit there anywhere in this image and pick up some messages from Spirit? Do you think you could sit at a red light in the silence in your car and pick up some messages from Spirit? Just saying. The Cherokee people and many other native tribes believed that the winds were messengers sent by the Creator, and they carried information from the sacred realms. When you go outdoors, notice the movement of air across your skin. I'm going to add in, breathe it in deeply. That energy that's in that air comes within you then. Good morning, Renee. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. Whether it is the subtlest breeze or the powerful wind of a storm, take a moment to stop and listen. Get a sense of what messages it might have for you. So I'll tell you, one of the things that, oh my, this must be 35 years ago, I became aware of, was when I had ringing in my ears, there was a message for me. So if I just tried to get rid of the ringing in my ears, I lost the message. If I took a moment to go, oh, my ears are ringing, there must be something coming in, and paid attention, I could receive the message. When I was too pent up, wound up, going Mach 3 with my hair on fire, I needed practices that would help bring me back down, slow me down, get me to take the sacred pause. Yes, love those messages. Nothing to be afraid of. They're there to guide us to a fuller, richer, more expansive, happier life. If I moved into a place of a quiet place, whether that was sitting in my car because my kids were being too noisy, or going for a walk in the woods, or whatever it was, bringing in the breath, bringing the breath back online. I draw in healing golden light. I let go of anything that's blocking my receiving the messages. I draw in the messages, these divine messages from Spirit. I let go of any fear that compromises me truly connecting with the messages. On and on and on. Yes, walking in nature helps every day. A breath work practice every day. If every one of us took the time to do 15 minutes of breath work a day, it'd be a whole different world. I guarantee you it would be a whole different world. So, all we can manage is ourselves. So let's do our part with that. Let's do our part with that. If you're around somebody who's wound up, who's, you're standing in line and the person in the front of the line is yelling at the clerk, okay? Breathe for them. Take some nice deep breaths. Send that energy their direction with loving kindness, no judgment. We have no idea why they're yelling. They could be a jerk, but oftentimes people who are jerky need the most healing energy anyway. So breathe to them that healing energy. You may notice they begin to ratchet it down. We can impact those around us. Certainly we are all aware of being impacted by negativity around us. How about we become aware of being impacted by positivity around us? Sending loving kindness. So let's take a moment right now. I want you to rub your hands together. Oh, my ears just started ringing. Hold up your hands. Breathing in through the nose. Exhaling loving energy. You can send it to a specific person, place, situation, or you can just send it out trusting that the divine will put it where it needs to be. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And you can just continue sending that loving kindness as long as you choose to do so. And you can do it at any point. What if you made a practice of doing this at every stoplight you sat at? Just rub your hands together, send some energy until you need to hang on to the steering wheel again and go. As you go past water, blessing water, that's a huge one. Blessing the water. We need our water. We don't exist without our water, and we have done our water a great disservice. A great disservice, and continue to do so. So, when you go for a walk, maybe I'm just going to start us off slowly. Once a week, when you go for your walk, take a bag along and pick up all the junk you see along the road or along your path, wherever you are. Diane and I were sitting at the park yesterday and watched a plastic bag go tumbling down the road. And then we noticed other places where there were plastic containers, like the worm containers, because people fish at the river. I noticed that they put in a chunk of PVC pipe about this big around, up and over, so it kind of looked like a candy cane shape, and it's for fishing line. So rather than leaving your tangled up fishing line laying around for the animals to get tangled up in, you poke it in this PVC pipe. I thought that was awesome. What are some other things that you've noticed? What are some other things that you do? How are you sending healing energy? How are you tending to Mother Earth? What are you doing? Let's put a few in the feed, because we all need ideas. We all need ideas. Maybe someone's already doing something, but they could expand it just a little bit in a different direction, and something amazing happens. Take some time, put some things in the feed that you're doing to make our world a better place, including breath. Including breath. We may think that breath is insufficient. It is a beautiful, energetic thing we can do for ourselves and for others. All right? So, have an awesome Wednesday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are, including tending to the breath. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.